Wait 1 second. Making sure I am recording. Okay, hello and welcome back to TenkoBerry does some book reading. Hopefully you're all doing okay today and safe. This is Fireplace Talks and Stories. So in today's episode we're reading The Tale of Mr. Jeremy Fisher by Beatrix. It's the exact copy of the one that you see there. You know, sometimes I accidentally just pick the wrong one, but that's because I can never find the right one. Alright. The original and authorized edition, F. Warren and Co. That's who published this one. Alright. So let me open it up. Oh, it's got a nice, bunch of animals here. You got a hedgehog. That is like a granny hedgehog. It's very cute. Very cute. But all the needles stick right through the, what do you call it? It's not an overcoat, it's can never get the name of it, I tell you. The little white hat that people used to wear back in the day. A mouse with a book. Two bad mice. Tiggy Winkle. So it's showing all the books. Very interesting. I really like that. Now this one here, this book. It's a reproduced one from 1997. This republished one was from. But it was first published in 1906. A long time ago. You wouldn't think that Beatrix Potter wanted to be a scientist, but due to being female at the time, they did not allow that, quite sadly. I wonder what kind of scientist it would have been, I tell you. Alright, now let us get into the book. So, once upon a time, there was a frog called Mr. Jeremy Fisher. He lived in a little damp house amongst the buttercups at the edge of a pond. The water was all sloppy in the ladder and in the back passage, but Mr. Jeremy liked getting his feet wet. Nobody ever scolded him, and he never got a cold. So his house has a lot of splash flush on the ground. Quite interesting. His aquatic feet help that, hear them coming out the door. He was quite pleased when he looked out, do apologize, it's a little bit, moved that T there, out, and saw large drops of rain splashing in the pond. I would get some worms and go fishing, and catch a dish of minnows. Trying to remember what a minnow was there. For my dinner, said Mr. Jeremy Fisher. If I catch more than 5 fish, I will invite my friends, Mr. Adelman, Ptolemy, Tortoise, and Sir Isaac Newton. The alderman, however, eats salad. Quite understandable. Can't go wrong with a nice salad every once in a while. Mr. Jeremy put on a mackintosh and a pair of shiny goloshes. He took his rod and a basket and set off with enormous hops to the place where he kept his boat. The boat was round and green, and very like the other lily leaves. It was tied to a water plant in the middle of the pond. Quite a nice boat, I tell you. Alright, the page is a little bit trapped there. Do apologise. Mr. Jeremy took a reed bowl and pushed the boat out into the water. I know a good place for minnows, said Mr. Jeremy Fisher. Mr. Jeremy stuck his pole into the mud and fastened his boat to it. Then he settled himself cross-legged and arranged his fishing tackle. He had the dearest little red float. His rod was a tough stalk of grass. His line was a fine, long, white horsehair, and he tied a little wriggling worm at the end. Okay, I'm making sure the pages were not stuck together there. The rain trickled down his back, and for nearly an hour he stared at the float. "This is getting tiresome. I think I should like some lunch," said Mr. Jeremy Fisher. He punted back again amongst the water plants and took some lunch out of his basket. "I will eat a butterfly sandwich and wait till the shower is over." And Mr. Jeremy Fisher, there's him eating a butterfly sandwich. Quite interesting. Looks like it has some kind of gel or something between it. Quite interesting. A great big water beetle came up beneath the lily and tweaked the toe of one of his goloshes. Mr. Jeremy crossed his legs up shore, out of reach, and went on eating his sandwich. Once or twice something moved about with a rustle and a splash amongst the rushes at the side of the pond. "I trust that it is not a rat," said Mr. Jeremy Fisher. "I think I had... Wait," said Mr. Jeremy Fisher. "I think had better get..." That's it. Sorry, I do apologise here. I was struggling a little. Alright. So, also I remembered I needed to do something there. Let me do that there. Alright. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Alright. So where was I? "I think I had better get away from here." Mr. Jeremy shoved his boat out again a little way and dropped in the bait. There was a bite almost directly. The float gave a tremendous bobbit. "A minnow! A minnow! I have him by his nose!" cried Mr. Jeremy Fisher, jerking up his rod. Psst, the last page. The rat was splashing his way along. Do apologise. But do not tell Mr. Jeremy Fisher. "Oh, it is actually a minnow." "Ah, that rat must have helped or something, who knows. Stirred up the water, got the mud going so that it would be kick up of some of the fish food at the bottom of the water." But what a horrible surprise. Instead of a smooth fat minnow, Mr. Jeremy landed little Jack Sharp, the stickleback, covered with spines. Ah, it was not a minnow. Oh, quite sad. The stickleback floundered about the boat, picking and snapping until he was quite out of breath. Then he jumped back into the water. Alright, let me slip the page. I tell you, I like how at the corner of the pages is that exact fish in the exact same position. I find that quite cute. And a shoal of other little fishies put their heads out and laughed at Mr. Jeremy Fisher. And while Mr. Jeremy Fisher sat cannot remember how you say this word. Disconsolate. Disconsolable. On the edge of his boat, sucking his sore fingers and peering down into the water. A much worse thing happened. A really frightened thing it would have been if Mr. Jeremy had not been wearing a Macintosh. That's good to hear, I tell you. That Macintosh really saves your day, I tell you. Ooh. A great big, enormous trout came up, with a splash, and it seized Mr. Jeremy with a snap. Ow, ow, ow! And then it turned and divided. Well, not divided. Dived. I do apologise. I read it as divided there. I'd caught a letter from above it from another word. Dived down to the bottom of the pond. But the trout was so displeased with the taste of the Macintosh that in less than half a minute it spat him out again, and the only thing it swallowed was Mr. Jeremy's Gaulish shoes. Terrible. Gaulish shoes. Ooh, could not catch the page there, it was jumbling about that area. Mr. Jeremy bounced up to the surface of the water, like a cork and the bubbles out of a soda water bottle, and he swam with all his might to the edge of the pond. He scrambled out on the first bank he came to, and he hopped home across the meadow with his Macintosh all in tatters. What a mercy that was, not a pike. What a mercy that was, not a pike, said Mr. Jeremy Fisher. I have lost my rod and basket, but it does not much matter, for I am sure I should never have dared to go fishing again. He put some sticking plaster on his finger, and his friends both came to dinner. He could not offer them fish, but he had something else in his letter. Sir Isaac Newton. Also, if you get the joke, Sir Isaac Newton is actually a lizard called Newton. A little bit of a fact there. Wore his black and gold waistcoat. And Mr. Adelman Pitomley Tortoise brought a salad with him in a string bag, and instead of a nice dish of minnows, they had a roasted grasshopper with ladybird sauce, which frogs consider a beautiful treat, but I think it must have been nasty. Yeah, it doesn't look like they really enjoy that. The end. Ooh. The page is a little bit stuck. I was gonna slip over and see if there was a, final slide, but I guess not. Yeah, it's stuck down, I tell you. Quite a shame. But you know what, I can, see what's on the back. No, nothing on the back of really any interest, I tell you. But that is the end of the tale of Mr. Jeremy Fisher. I don't think he'll be going fishing anytime soon, sadly. But you know what? He escaped with his life, and he went on quite an adventure. So that's one or two, plus there. But I will also give you another fact. So Beatrix Potter, famous for the Beatrix Potter books, was also very great at doing drawings of flowers. And a lot of the drawings that she did are still used for the flowers today. A little bit of a fact there for you. So hopefully you enjoy this. Have a nice day, safe, hope simple. Use some give the vitamins forever important. And bye bye, see you next time over the CCs. Bye bye.